Well, in occupied East Jerusalem, hundreds of Palestinians have been celebrating at the Al-Aqsa compound. They were marking Israel's decision to remove some security measures from the entrance to the holy site. Metal detectors were installed following the fatal shooting of 2 Israeli police officers inside the compound earlier this month. Since then, Muslim worshippers have been staging protests, prayers outside of its perimeter, and now Palestinian elders are calling for worshippers to return to the mosque over the coming days.
King Abdullah II, the custodian of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. First of all, as he is a custodian of the mosque, to continue his efforts in protecting and putting an end of the arrogance of the Israeli occupation. We salute all Palestinian components. All worshippers are going to head to Al-Aqsa Mosque in the coming days. We also promise you to be the custodian and protectors, guardians of this holy place. And this victory was a great and historic victory for all Palestinians.
Well, for more, let's talk to Courtney Kealy, who is in East Jerusalem. Hi, Courtney. Just give us a better sense of how much the atmosphere has actually changed between just 2 days ago and those protests we'll remember and right now.
Well, you had midnight protests, but they weren't quite sure if the Mufti and the religious leaders and the Palestinian leaders were going to say that enough concessions had been made by the Israelis. But you can hear there's a lot of clapping, a lot of smiles, a lot of cheering right now. People saying, one sign says Al-Aqsa wins, a win for Al-Aqsa. There's cheers, our blood, our hope, we give to you Al-Aqsa. A lot of music, and you'll be seeing their festivities. This is before prayers. But it's not a solemn occasion. It's filled with women and children. And it's about a couple of hundred. You have to remember that people from the West Bank and Gaza don't have permits to come to the Old City and come to the Al-Aqsa compound. But these are East Jerusalemites who have probably laid down the protest and prayed in the streets are getting ready to go back to the Al-Aqsa compound prepared today.
And Courtney, remind us why and how Israel decided to concede on this when it seemed as if heels were dug in, believing more security was necessary at the compound after 2 of their own officers were killed.
Right, so 2 weeks ago, almost from tomorrow, 2 Israeli policemen were killed during Friday by 2 Israeli Arabs who would have permits to travel to Jerusalem. They were stabbed to death. Friday prayers were called off, and they shut the compound down for 2 days. When they reopened it, there were metal detectors and there were cameras. And Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet decided to do this against the advice of King Beck and the police department. He said it could lead to chaos, it could lead to, igniting very deadly protests. The protests were actually peaceful. It was really civil unrest, neighbors coming out, refusing to go into the mosque, refusing to pass these metal detectors. It wasn't just the metal detectors, it was that the metal detectors symbolized that Israel was taking sovereignty over the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Israel does not have sovereignty over the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Waqf, a trust does, which is run by the Jordanians. And there was a lot of diplomatic movement sort of behind the scenes earlier this week by King Abdullah II and Netanyahu. Then the metal detectors left, then the cameras left, and now today the official announcement by Al-Aqsa custodians and imams were coming back to pray. And they think this is a real victory and a real win. And there's rarely a victory that you hear from the Palestinians.
Okay.
But today, they feel like they've established Al-Aqsa is theirs again.
Okay. Courtney Kealy joining us there from occupied East Jerusalem. Thanks so much for that.